So, Miss Jane Clark, do you want to tell us really quickly what you do?
Yeah, I'm the CEO of Brand Swan, and we do branding, web design, and marketing.
Awesome. And we're just going to run through kind of your experience of the Gap Accelerator, if that's cool with you.
Very cool.
Very simple questions to answer. What were you going through in your business when we chatted that made you want to sign up to the accelerator? What was happening for you at the time, if you can remember those challenges and pain points at the time?
I wanted something. I know that sounds crazy, but I've spent my life just sort of letting life happen to me. Although I do make my own magic for sure. Um, I like to be in control as well. And I'm seeing, and I felt some jealousy, and I'm like, that's weird. Let's explore that feeling. Why are you jealous? Do you really desire those things? And so this is what this whole experiment is investing in myself, which I've never done before because I went to community college and with an associate's degree in photography, and like that's my background.
That's awesome.
But learning new stuff is great. But I would just say the same old, and I wanted something new. I was ready for it. I was real hungry.
Yeah. I love doing these interviews because I feel like I get to know you guys really well in a very short period of time. But I didn't know that about you, that you started your business based off of a degree in photography. I think that's awesome.
It was actually web design because I was like,
Oh,
I'm mediocre photography. I'd rather be dead. So then I decided that I was just going to be a unicorn and do web design. And that's what started this whole thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, entrepreneurs are typically unicorns, so I think you're like in the right room.
Yeah. I got a lot of skills and I'm super proud of them, but it'd be nice to know what to do with them now. So I'm ready for the next thing.
Amazing. I love that. So yeah, we talked about this that you were kind of like, what is the thing I'm missing? What's the next thing? I don't know. And I've never invested in myself really to be coached or learn the next thing.
Yeah.
And that's what made like, can you take it to the next level? And I do think that when we talked, you're like, it took me this many years to get to this revenue.
Yeah. 10 years to
Can
get to
it,
six figures.
can I, it took me how many years to get to six figures?
10. I didn't know I could or that I even wanted to.
Yeah, I think that's really relevant though. I didn't know that I could, which actually, guys, you can very easily. And I didn't know if I wanted to. And now we're playing with what does next level Jane want? And then how do we create it?
Exactly.
So yeah.
And next
Um,
level Jane, CEO of Brand Swan, right, Meeks?
that's right. What so once you were in the Gap Accelerator, which is a very intense accelerator intentionally, what was your experience? Because I know you kind of went in like, I'm going in, I like you, I'm trusting, but you had really you didn't know what was gonna
Yeah.
happen. What was your experience like?
Gosh, I was just, first of all, when I discovered I wanted to coach, I kept thinking to myself, who was the one person I want to coach me? And it's because of something you said in the upside in one of the meetings. And you were like, collect as many no's as possible. And I was like, hot dog, that's genius. Let's try to get rejections and dull the pain, right? So
Yeah.
I thought that was really great. And so that's why I decided to work with you. And uh, I was really impressed with how much time you really gave us. And as you know, on the second day intensive, I think it was the second day, I called Sobbing Saturday because I had to unwire so much stuff. And I think I mourned all the time spent doing all these foundational pieces only to know that they're not really helping me in the right direction that I need to be heading in. Like nothing is giving me the information. And so since once I accepted that all in an hour or 2 hours, whatever, three, four, we get a lot of time with you. Um, I was able to kind of say, okay, pick yourself back up. I've always been able to do that. But anyway, so after that day, because I'm like, oh, this is going to be easy. I have so much prepared. I'm learning as an SEO person. I'm learning SEO stuff. I'm learning brand messaging. I'm learning brand messaging stuff. Just, and that's a dose of humble pie, I think, at this stage. But the the magic that comes from giving the old college try is like pretty powerful, I think. Anyway, I think I went off on a tangent there, but so
No.
working with you is just sort of I had the whole mental shift I had to do. And so I was just sort of experiencing it. And then I would say by the fourth day, I was like, okay, I want to do it. So I got to the hard part, still wanted to do it, and still want to do it.
Yeah, that's awesome. No, I love it. I loved your honesty that you were like, I need an emotional moment. I'm looking,
Yeah.
learning these things about I'm looking at stuff in my business I haven't looked at in 10 years.
Mm,
And you had a moment and you were like, I need to like be cameras off. I'm still here, but I need to give myself space. And I was like, cool, I get it.
yeah.
So I think it was a beautiful thing and you stuck with it. And you're now more, we've laid out a plan for you that's even, I think, beyond maybe even what you thought or thinking was possible. And it's really
Yeah.
exciting and you're still here. So
Yeah. And I know
kudos to
exactly what I
you.
have to do to get there. And honestly, it's removed a lot of the anxiety from business ownership because I get frustrated and I don't know the answers. Because when I don't know the answer, I say, I don't know, I'm going to find out. And how many, if I say too many of those in a row, I start to panic. And so that's what happened. I started to panic 'cause I didn't have all the answers anymore.
Yeah. But then we like put the answers back together.
Yeah, they made sense. I just had to get
Yeah.
out of my own way first. That was like such a big hurdle. And honestly, I feel like being in the cohort, I don't think I'd want it any differently because everyone there is there for the same reason you are. You build friendships, you care about the people who are sharing being vulnerable with you. And so I think that made it extra special.
Awesome. That's cool. I love that. What would you say is your result from the experience? What have you, I mean, I know there's been some tangible financial results and closing new deals and but what would you say right now? You're pretty fresh right out of Accelerator and you're moving into Gab CEO, which is the CEO program. What would you say are your results from this just first batch of experience?
I can't explain how kick-ass it feels to go. Well, first of all, every business owner this year has been struggling so hard. I met with someone who does exactly what I do, but she's been doing it over 30 years, and she says it's been the hardest year of her life in business. And so I'm
Wow.
like, oh man. So hearing everyone say that, but then when I leave the accelerator, everything picks back up. And now it's like because of that timing, I there's nothing I can't handle. It's insane. I get an email from someone, maybe a little mansplaining. I don't care because I know what I'm doing. Like there's just so much more security in here now that
Mm,
I no longer have to kind of compare myself to others to figure out where everyone is like status wise, you know? Like I can just show up as I am, explain my services, why we're a little bit different, and that lets the magic happen. I think I spent too much time being like, well, what about these people over here? They're kicking ass and taking names. How dare they be awesome? What about the people over here? Um, I just love my new inner dialogue the most. Um, but now that I understand the numbers too, it's a little bit easier to forecast them.
yeah,
Every
absolutely.
month, it's like, well, let's sell some of this. Like to be able to break it down week by week, I think is crazy. I mean, I know exactly, I have my North Star now. So I also think I would show up at work every day because I'm resilient, I'm a hard worker, and do nothing. Literally do all this work for nothing. Write more content. Let's write a newsletter, let's do some more marketing. When I could have just been like, I had to come up with saying more and more stuff. But really, there's only one thing I have to say about us.
Yeah,
So yeah,
yeah,
okay. It feels good.
that's awesome. I think that's actually really, it's so fun to have these conversations because everyone says something so interesting, but it's so true we don't realize it. A lot of times we're showing up to work in our business and maybe even sitting at our computer for an entire day and not really actually getting work done. Because if you don't really know what you're doing and you're not super intentional and focused on the goal and you don't actually know how to get to the goal, you are kind of like picking at, oh, I'll just make some content, or I'll network at this networking event, I'll hop on this call. And you're kind of picking away at it. It's almost like you're playing with a ball of yarn and you're kind of trying to tell yourself that you're untangling it. Because we can, like we can do that. We can spend a lot of time going, well, but I sat at my desk and I did all these things. I was busy productive, right?
Yeah.
And it's very different when you're like, oh no, I know what I'm doing. I know if I'm going to hit that goal and if that's important to me, I need to sell 2 of these this month. So I know what I need to do that. It's a very different type of focused intention, and you show up differently. And so what you just said to me is you are very clear on your numbers and your strategy. So you're very clear on the tactical side, but I think you've also taken advantage of the mindset calls.
Oh
And
yeah.
in a very short period of time, you have really up-leveled that kind of the story that you have about yourself and the comparison. And you've really done that. My dream combination is when somebody can couple the strategy and their tactics with mindset, right? And kind of see the two. And you are doing a really great job at that. And that's kind
Thank
of like,
you.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting my gold star. I can't make a star with my fingers, so we're gonna do a heart. Thanks.
You get
Yeah.
a gold star. You get a gold star. You're crushing it.
Awesome.
I'm so impressed when somebody in very little time can kind of capture and utilize and take advantage of both. Sometimes what happens is people get the mindset piece more or get the tactical stuff more and the mindset stuff happens. But for you, it's been really fun to watch you go, oh, this and this and this and this, and they're related. And oh, right. So you're doing a really good job of seeing the
Thank you.
two.
I think after Sobbing Saturday, which is gonna be a U2 single, I think maybe. Uh, um, oh man, I forgot what I was gonna say. It's a problem. I make too many jokes. It's surrounded in humor. But okay, on Sobbing Saturday, part of the reason why I was sobbing is because I felt like I had to leave everything behind. Everything I've been doing is wrong. But because I
Mm,
had all those in place for 15 years, I think that's why I'm getting it pretty fast. I just
yeah.
needed someone to guide me. And hi, Sally.
Hi. Well, you're making moves fast,
Thank you. I try.
which is really great. Um, if you were talking to somebody who was on the fence about joining the Gab Accelerator,
Yep.
what would you say to them?
I have said it. I have said it. I'm gonna um just do it. I think Nike might be mad. I just said just do it. Yeah, just do it. It's wonderful. And it's because with coaching experiences, especially one, no one likes the word coach. They have like an immediate effect with the word coach. They think that they can't do, so they teach. They think, you know what I mean? So there's a bunch of like stigma attached to coaching. And so I think me initially, along with lots of other people, I'm sure, are like, I don't want to get scammed. I want to make the right call. And I just knew immediately that you were the real deal. I kind of make decisions and then I'm like, okay, I'm committing to this decision now. I'm doing it. So doing what I say I'm going to do is pretty important. Um, and you also walk the walk. You're just living the example. I love it. And I'm so glad that I have you here and hopefully professionally forever.
Yeah, thank you. I love that. Yeah, I think that it's important. I look for, I look for mentors the same way I look for hairdressers. You want to go to a hairdresser that obviously knows how to cut hair similar to your hair and texture, right? I go to business mentors. I only work with mentors who I see walking the walk and that I see them modeling what they say. That's what's most interesting to me. And so then I try to do the same thing for you guys. So I'm very open and honest in our sessions about what I'm doing, where I'm at in my business, if it's relevant to you, if it's not relevant to you based on where you're at. I just wrote an email a few days ago to my list, and it was funny how people in your cohort responded to the email. There was like 2 or 3 people actually responded to this mass email, and they were like, look at you modeling what you say and what you talk about doing. And it was just really funny. So I was like, yeah, I
Crazy how that
um,
happens.
I am always modeling what I tell you guys to do. I go and do it and I walk the walk. So
Yeah.
I think that, I hope that I'm not any better than anyone. I've just been playing at this game for a really long time. And business strategy just happens to be the way my brain works. But I'm not better than anyone. I'm in it, and I'm in it in the trenches with you guys. And I think that's what makes it fun too, I hope.
Yeah, and all the tools allow someone like me to kind of keep it together, because I'm a designer, I'm a leader, I'm all sorts of stuff. I have to beat everyone. And I also don't know what's going with that either. Maybe I'll remember in 5 seconds. I'm the worst. I'm the worst.
No, it's good. It's good. But yeah, it's so satisfying to see different people at different stages in business, um, different personalities, different businesses, different industries take the tools and take them on and come out just 5 weeks after. Because it's just been 5 weeks just now, just today, actually.
Oh
It's
wow.
officially 5 weeks.
Oh.
And to see like, oh my gosh, I'm talking to a totally different person 5 weeks later. The way that you're talking about yourself and your business and even your
Mm,
financial goals and your attitude around it and the words that you're using where you're not questioning whether that number is real or questioning whether you want it, but your attitude is, oh, I'm going for it and let's do that and let's make that happen and let's play that game and let's see what it's like and let's go, is a totally different person that I spoke to
mm.
weeks ago.
I'm not a big risk taker.
Yeah,
Which, I mean, when I started my computer, I didn't have to buy any, or when I started my business, I didn't have to buy anything. I just needed a computer to do websites and boom, done. So,
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
And so now I'm pushing you into this next phase, and I think
I'm
it's
ready
really fun to
for
watch.
it because I gotta get out of this chair to make more magic happen, for my health, for everything. Just unplugging a bit more. And I can do that if I'm a CEO, but I can't if I'm a designer.
That is for sure. That is for
For
sure.
sure.
Well, thank you. Thanks
You're
for answering these
welcome.
questions. I really appreciate it.